veers on a different path. We're talking about jobs and work, but our speaker is an entrepreneur, and he's never worked a real full-time career job in his life. He started his own business, Ballistic Arts, above his parents' garage after graduating from SFU in 2002. And his first part-time job at a very young age was to cold call people and tell them about Fabricland's
Fabricland's spring sale.
Yes. And you earned how much per call?
25 cents per call. It was on a dot matrix paper. And for every cent I call, and it was great because old ladies in the 90s had 13 channels on TV and nothing else to do. So they would talk to you and be like, lady, get off the phone. I need to make my money. So it was fun.
That's great. And that's pre-inflation 25 cents, right?
Yes. So I'd be a millionaire today.
Yes. So why don't I pass the stage to Ted? Let's give it up for Ted.
Hey, everybody. Give a round of applause to everybody that was on stage earlier today, please. And thank you to Jay, Noah, what's your name? Aaron, and all our sponsors for having us today. So, yeah, I know I am the only thing between y'all and food and drink, so I'm going to go as fast as I can, all right? Okay, so I know this is an HR conference. I also know that a lot of y'all probably are in that part of your career. You're like, maybe I don't want to work for the man anymore, and I want to run my own thing. So this might be something, might be a guide. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so this is me, a little bit about me. So I started this company, Ballistic Arts, in 2002, like we heard, above my parents' garage. And I kind of built it up from there. We've won a bunch of awards. I went to SFU, so I'm a local boy. Actually, one of my fellow high school friends or Coquitlam friends are here. I also, so we have clients all over North America. I'm a co-host of Marketing News Canada, Canada's #1 podcast in all things marketing, advertising, and communications. And my claim to fame was I got to interview Chris Hadfield. He's a hero of mine. And I started a content channel because I'm not busy enough earlier this year called Ted. It's really because I mentor a lot of entrepreneurs and they ask a lot of the same questions. I just wanted to put it somewhere so I can kind of scale. All right. So let's go back in time, 2019. So that's 5 years ago. Being in business, you're going to get punched in the face. That's just the way it goes. In 2019, for whatever reason, there's about 16 months where life didn't really work properly. So business wasn't going well. Broke up with my business partner of 16 years at that time. That split was not great. We were losing 50 grand a month for like 6-7 months in a row, month after month after month. 80% turnover. So for all y'all HR people, all the stuff you guys talked about, I fucked up on every single one of the things that you talked about, okay? Oh yes, and I will be swearing through this entire talk. So 80% turnover, 1-star Glassdoor reviews. So if you want some fun reading, please just feel my pain. Obviously the marriage wasn't so great. I actually have a really good marriage. My wife and I never fight, but in that 8 months, I got yelled at like every 2 weeks. So a lot of severe depression. I know, laugh at my pain, all that kind of stuff, but it was actually really serious. I fired 2 shrinks, finally found somebody that actually worked for me. So if you are going through a tough time, please seek help. Either way, something that Papa Lau, my dad, would always say, Ted, this is the word for crisis in Chinese, okay? And what it means is a combination of danger and opportunity. And he's like, whenever you're in the shitter, he doesn't say shitter. Look for the opportunity, because whenever there's crisis, there's always danger and there's also always an opportunity. So that's how I think a lot of entrepreneurs make your own luck. So I would encourage you to consider that. I pressed the button. Okay, right. So there's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy. This book, as an entrepreneur, I read a lot. This book is really cool. The companies they talk about are kind of dated now. It's like Cirque du Soleil and some old wine companies. But the idea is that in business, you're going to get commoditized and you're going to have a lot of competition. And that's the red ocean. Imagine you're a bunch of sharks, you're feeding on stuff. And if you have a lot of competition, you're going to get commoditized and you're going to race to the bottom. So if you're able to find blue ocean, new business strategy will help, new markets, new ways of looking at business, that's a way to go. Now, it wasn't like I read that book and I'm like, oh, I got this new great business idea I'm going to do. Instead, I read another book called Predictive Revenue. And it talks about if you don't know what you want to do, go and talk to your best clients and figure out maybe what they want. So drinking beer with some clients, and I ask, hey, oh, by the way, I run a marketing company. I should have said that. But so I'm interviewing these clients, and they're like, hey, I want you guys to get into social media marketing. This is what my client said. I'm like, really? Fuck, why? I fucking hate social media. Like, this is terrible. Why would you want me to do that? He's like, well, you guys do really good branding and creative, but whenever we give that to our digital marketing people, it just kind of goes into a black hole. We don't know what's going on. And we're paying thousands of dollars a month for that, and we're getting nothing. And all I heard was, you're paying someone thousands of dollars a month? I'm like, okay, well, I'll take some of that. And so I'm thinking, well, I'm drinking beer. I'm like, if I'm paying someone $1,000 a month and I'm not getting anything in return, maybe I should do something about that. So I was like, what if I got you business? And this client, who's still a client to this day, he's like, Ted, if you got me business through marketing, I will never leave you. I'm like, okay, maybe I got something. So remember, I ran a creative agency. I didn't do any digital marketing. I barely knew how to turn on Instagram at the time, okay? So I'm like, but I got this business idea. What should I do? So I went to this school called Brain Station. I think they're on Granville. And they got me, it's a 3-week course. And you're supposed to do, it was me and a bunch of 20-year-olds. And I'm sorry if you guys, there's some 20-year-olds here. But anyways, like, you know, the old dude, 20-year-olds. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And they're like, hey, so your final project is to make a business, like a marketing plan, strategy, digital marketing strategy for a business, make up a business. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use it on one of my clients. So I'm done my final project. The teacher's like, this is really good. I then remove the Brain Station logo off of the presentation, put my logo on it, and I give it to one of my clients. And I'm like, hey, what do you think? And the client's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. I'm like, really? How much do you think you'd pay for that? I don't know, about this much. I'm like, funny you should say that. That's exactly how much I was going to charge. And boom, I got a new business model, right? So that's kind of how I did it. And this is kind of how I live my life. There's another story here. I know it's supposed to be like 5 minutes, but in The Simpsons, Homer Simpson loses his job. And all of a sudden, the family all has to get jobs. And Marge goes, I'm going to teach piano. Lisa goes, the daughter, Mom, you don't know how to play the piano. And Marge goes, I just got to be one lesson ahead of the kid. And that's how I live my life. Okay. Now, just because I started this new business model does not mean it actually worked. In fact, so we're promising to get leads. Yeah, we're getting business for some people, and some people it didn't really work. So we had to figure out why some of our businesses worked and some of ours didn't. And so in business, you said fail a lot, right? So you got to learn to fail. And I had this one client who said, I've never met him before, and he was like, you people have screwed me out of so much of my money. And I'm like, and this is an HR room, so I'm like, you people, what the fuck are you talking about, right? But he was like, but he meant that like a lot of marketing people were wasting money and he wasn't getting a return. Yet we were able to, within 6 weeks, turn his business around. Like 80% of all his business comes from what we do now. And I'm trying to figure out how come this angry dude, somehow we succeeded and those people didn't. So it's like a lot of trial and error. Another client come to us, they build like playgrounds for schools. And she came to me and she's like, I want to start a podcast, Ted. Can you make me a podcast? I'm like, for playground manufacturers? Like, who's going to listen to that? She's like, I don't know, my competitor's doing it. Well, if your competitor jumps off a bridge, are you going to, like, right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, is that going to make you any money? She's like, no. I'm like, well, what if I got you marketing that actually would make you money? She's like, you can do that. And boom, yeah, and we're helping them do that. So what I realized was that most of my companies that we're really successful working in, they're in the B2B space. And they hate marketing and they hate marketers. They're like, literally, like, you people have wasted so much of my money. So, but I realized they like to make money. So for them, they're not really precious about their brand. They just want to make sure that the marketing actually is a means to an end. And so that's what we kind of figured out. So we started building a formula. Marketing, you need marketing to make you money. You can't eat likes. That was the thing that I kind of realized, that like Someone's laughing, so I think y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so I have a few lessons. So if you're planning to start your own entrepreneurial journey, lesson number one, you're not what you do. You're not your career. You are not your business. You're not your successes nor your failure. You are your character and who you are being in this present moment. Number two, story of my life. Building the plane while flying it. This kind of happens with most entrepreneurs I know. Sorry, I'm kind of blocking views here. But like a lot of times there's a lot of experimentation. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are nodding because you're going to do that. And that's okay. Number three, failure. Oh, I remember doing this. I have a lot of mentors. I'd be like crying at a mentor. I lost all this money. And he's like, Ted, failure is the tuition that we pay. I have no MBA. I barely made it out of SFU, right? And like the degree, who said the degree? It was you, right? Yeah. So the degree thing, I don't hire people because of their degree. I don't give a shit. Like, I want to look at the portfolio, how they are, how they're going to fit in my culture. That's what I want to do. And I had to learn that, right? So this whole thing about we had a goal at the beginning of 2020 to open the West Coast US. Failed here, like all these cities, all the way down south, and now we're in LA. But it took a lot of failing. Lesson 4, you are unstoppable. The only person that can stop you from doing what the hell you ever want to do is yourself. That's basically it. Now, okay, we're not gonna go football. Where's the football person? There was a fantasy league person. Anyway, there she is. Okay, you might not be Lamar Jackson. Okay, I get it. But in terms of your career, business, your ideas, no one is stopping you. It's gonna just be you. This one, be do have. Another mentor. I used to live this way. If I have this thing and I'll do this and I'll be this person. It doesn't work that way. You gotta be that now, do this, and then have that. I don't know. I had a mentor kind of punch it in my head and it finally worked. Okay, so I just encourage you to think that. It's number 6. That was a 6-pack. See, number 6. No one knows what they're doing, and that's okay. There's a thing that people talk about, imposter syndrome, blah, 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 blah. Have you ever noticed that everyone has imposter syndrome? Yeah, because no one fucking knows what they're doing. Someone asked me earlier today, well, what's your kid want to do? I'm like, she's 15. I'm 40 something. I still don't know what I want to do. Right? So that's okay. And running your own show, that's the ball game. And number 7, this one, which I think you heard a lot tonight, take risks, embrace uncertainty. Tomorrow is not promised to, it says no man, sorry, it's a meme. It's not promised to anybody, okay? And you don't risk it, you don't get the biscuit. And this one I love is, I know it's Wayne Gretzky, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You have one life, fucking do something. And then I'm gonna end here, pivot, just do it. This is supposed to animate, but it doesn't matter. So that's it, that's me. It's time for drinks. Oh, also, if you are looking to start your own thing, you have I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna go. Here's my calendar. I do it for free, I don't care. I wanna help other people try to live their dreams. Okay? I love you, have a good night, thank you.